workers by millions. And mostly they're coming from Pakistan and from Bangladesh and other places. The Saudi government and the Persian Gulf countries such as Bahrain and these, they don't really trust their own people, their own army and stuff. So result, they recruited a lot of these workers, foreign workers, as a secret police to keep eye on their own native population. If you notice that when the uprising came in Saudi Arabia and Bahrain, the government of Saudi Arabia and Bahrain, they give a weapon and sticks and stuff to go beat the protester. Wow. They were all foreign workers, and a lot of them were Pakistanis, and from Bangladesh they were using. So with Libya, it's not that much interest. I think United States, looking 3 countries, they are looking at is a danger for the United States. One is Libya, one is Syria, and the other one is Iran. These are the 3 countries were a little bit hostile toward the United States. They were not coexisting with the neighbors and all this. So that's why they are focusing mostly on Libya, they are focusing on Syria, and they are focusing on Iran. But they are neglecting all these other movements in the area.
So in terms of what you've seen of President Obama's policies, like where would you, is it that he's being misguided by certain people, or do you think that he is operating on knowledge that they have on hand? Or do you have any, I mean, in terms of his overall?
I think President Obama started very well, but unfortunately the institution in the United States is so strong that an individual cannot change American policy, foreign policy or domestic policy. So the institutions are so strong here that the foreign policy of the United States was always to doesn't matter, as long as there is stability, the flow of oil is coming from these countries. We don't need democracy. And for example, 32 years of Mubarak, every 6 years he elected himself 99.9%, and we congratulated him that great election. The same thing in other Arab countries. We call them democracy and all this. But the problem is that the institutions dictate the foreign policy. And Obama is one person who maybe was thinking that he could change it. But nothing changed. There's no differences right now. He came, he said he's going to close the Guantanamo Bay. He didn't do it. He said that he's going to withdraw from Iraq totally. He didn't do it. He said that he's going to withdraw from Afghanistan. He didn't do that. So it's all it's the institutions, it's the total process is already decided. So one person, I don't think, can do that. He had some good ideas, but unfortunately he could not succeed in it.
So you're saying that the institutions are so strong that that one person doesn't have much.
Doesn't have much power.
So the institutions that you're talking about are which ones? Like the
well, the total structure of American foreign policy was based in the Cold War. It was based on containment, which Dr. Kissinger and all these, they wrote a lot about it. Containment in a sense that before it was that the main enemy was the Soviet Union and the communists, and how to contain them. So after that, the Cold War is at least over. It's not that intense like before. Right now, we are thinking about these other countries who are not really subordinated to the United States, such as Iran and such as North Korea and others who are not, then we are trying to contain them. So, for example, Iran. The other biggest thing I think has happened that after the invasion of Afghanistan in Iraq, the idea came to developing countries that if you have a nuclear weapon, then United States and the West cannot, bother you anymore because there will be a deterrent. And right now there's a struggle among the developing countries to have nuclear weapon because they think that's the only way they will be protected from. invasion, and that's why we talk about North Korea and Iran and all this. Matter of fact, the North Korean leader wrote a letter to Gaddafi, told him that that was kind of mistake by you to abandon your nuclear program, and that's why today they're invading you. So, so that idea came after the invasion of Iraq. So that feeling is still there among developing countries.
Wow. That's a very sobering reality.
Yes, it is, yeah.
And then since, Zalmay, since you're originally from Afghanistan, like, can you mention, like, you know, what do you see happening there now? I mean, we haven't heard as much about the progress there, and is it going in a good direction, you think, or?
For Afghanistan, it's very unfortunate because we went there in 2001, and then the attention more focused after invasion of Iraq.
Right.
Now we are still there. Now we are going somewhere else. Attention is more on Libya. The problem with Afghanistan is as long as the sanctuaries of the Taliban are not taken care of, the war will go for many more years, because see those people again coming from Pakistan, crossing the border, and then they do whatever they have to do and they go back. And United States now everybody know Obama, everybody knows that the sanctuaries are in Pakistan. And that's why this war is continuing going on. It could be very easily solved, this problem, that if they tell Pakistan that there will be a sanction if they don't stop this. For example, Pakistan is attacking the Taliban of Pakistan, Pakistani Taliban, but they are not touching the northern Waziristan Afghan Taliban, this is inside Pakistan. They're not touching them.
And why not?
Because they want to destroy their own Taliban, which is a threat to their Pakistani sovereignty and government, but they want to keep the Afghan Taliban alive so they can continue to have influence inside Afghanistan. So they are hoping that in the future, the Afghan Taliban, if they succeeded, then Pakistan will have influence in Afghanistan.
Oh.
And that's why the Taliban, now what Pakistan made a big mistake, because right now there are more problems inside Pakistan. The Pakistani Taliban was influenced by the Afghan Taliban, and now there is a major problem inside. And the other dangers in Pakistan is that because within the military in Pakistan, you have an element who are supporting Taliban. So within that group, if any of these people succeeded to get hold of the nuclear weapon, and the obsession that Pakistan has with India, that will be a disaster for that area.
And I'm not totally knowledgeable about this, but is there a nuclear weapon now in Pakistan?
Yeah, Pakistan has a nuclear power. I mean, Pakistan and India, they both have a nuclear power.
Oh.
But see, the problem is that Pakistan is not a very stable country, and it's kind of military is ruling the country with a kind of behind the curtain is the military, and in the front is the Zardari government. The danger is that even Hillary Clinton and all these are worried about that. If within the military of Pakistan, because there are elements who are supporting Taliban, if they did a coup or they get hold of the government and they have that nuclear weapon in their hand, most likely they will use it against India, because they are they're obsessed with India. And I was just talking with Jen Shukowski. She went to Pakistan a few months ago, or a few. She told me, she said that the Pakistanis have an obsession with India, and they're really obsessed with that. And that's why this policy is continue going. Like we are going on 11 years in Afghanistan almost, and a lot of things got better, yes, but it's not for that many. This is longer than Vietnam War.
And then what is your feeling towards